Okay, everyone, this is a tutorial on how you will manage classrooms, create client reservations to different classes, and check them in or mark them as absence uh, on the day of the class. So you should have, and this should auto-populate for you as instructors, a role name called JFS instructors. I got to that, just click under your name. If it doesn't say JFS instructors, you can click there and check JFS instructors as your role. I believe I've got it set where you'll automatically land as a JFS instructor. That will give you some classroom functionality that isn't available to anybody but instructors and their managers. So once you're sure you're there, click on your case management tab and your forms dashboard, and you will have a new icon called class management. Click the class management button and it will take you to your providers. Our provider, no matter what your program is right now, is employment services. So if you click employment services and then click on classes, takes it just a second to populate. You can sort by clicking the column heading of either of these, or you can filter it by just entering, in this case, Abby's, because we're working with an Abby's impact class. That will take this list to just those classes that are offered for Abby's impact. The class we are going to work with today is a Test Childhood Adversity class. I'm sorry, we are working today with Childhood Adversity class Tuesdays and Thursdays. I wanted to show you the multi-day options here. So this class is held on Tuesdays and Thursdays through the month of September. If you click your action gear next to that class name, the first thing we're going to do is reserve clients into the class. Click the slot reservation. It auto-populates the current month if you were backdating information and that was for a previous month, perhaps August or whatever, you'd want to change those dates. We know this class is being held in September. So if you click search right now, nothing populates. You can see no clients have been enrolled. So we're going to click add row. It automatically assigns a slot. Think of a slot as a desk space. And it tells you what the starting and ending dates of that classroom are. And we're going to search for a client we'd like to enroll. So we're going to enroll our friend Betty Rebel. When you click on her name, she auto-populates here. Notice there is a checkbox here to check the client in. You do not want to check the client in right now. All you're doing is reserving them. You can do this throughout your reservation period, the preceding month, or whenever you open reservations up and start assigning clients to it. So at this point, we're not checking the client in, we're simply reserving them a spot. Please ignore this client lease that has nothing to do with our classrooms. You can continue to add rows. Let's enter another client, Vicki Letterman. Again, click, make sure it's the person that you want. Click on their name and it auto-populates everything. Now you can save this currently, or you can keep adding reservations, but just assuming you're doing this throughout a month-long time, you're not going to add reservations all at once, most likely. You're going to reserve clients in there as they express an interest. So you can save this at any time. If you don't click save, you've done all of that work in vain. So make sure you click the save button. Again, it takes you back to this resource. It's a little bit of a pain because you have to do your filtering again. And our class is Childhood Adversity class Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let's go back to the slot reservation. We're assuming this is a couple of days or a week later. You want to add more clients. Again, it populates the current month. You can change these dates if you're entering for a previous month. Click the search button now, and it shows you you've already got 2 people registered. So Betty and Vicky have been registered, and now let's add our friend Cranky Kong. Click on Cranky's name. Again, everything populates. You're good to go. You can click save and come back to this throughout the registration period, or you can continue to add clients. We're going to add one more client. Danny McCoff. Again, you can do this. It will let you continue to make reservations up until its maximum capacity. We have maxed this specific class out at 15 individuals, but I don't want to go through all 15. You just continue doing this process until your class starts. So we've got our 4 reservations. Let's click save. Again, I apologize. This takes you back to this class. Or it takes you back to this resource page. And again, you'll have to filter. So let's assume it's classroom day. And we want to start checking people in for this childhood adversity class Tuesdays and Thursdays. So what you really want to make sure of is that you're selecting the right class for the right time frame. We know for a fact this is because we've just done it. So we're going to click the Abby's Impact class icon, and now we're going to click check-in. This populates the current week. We know that this started back in September, so you want to change that start date to the first Monday in September or the first Sunday in September. You can see there are 2 options here because this class is being held on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we're going to assume that today is the 5th. And we're going to click that date. And it's going to populate those people that we've just registered. Now, at this point, all you want to do is check them in. So you can do this. Hopefully, if this is a live event and you've got your laptop open and you can do this during class, then that's great. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back, find these dates, and mark these clients as checked in. So right now, let's check in Cranky Kong. This gives you the ability, once you click the check mark, that means you've checked them in. You can add a case note here. You can think of a million different reasons you'd want to put a case note that, you know, the client explained to you that he would need to leave class early, something like that. Just something to let you know if anything was different about the client or something specific that you wanted to remember. Case notes are the way to do that. I'm not going to do one right now, but that ability is there. Ignore end reservation right now. Again, we're only checking people in. We're also going to check in Vicky. And then we're just going to save. So far, during this class, Danny hasn't checked in and Betty Rebel hasn't checked in. I don't recommend recording them as absent until the class is over because you just don't know when somebody's going to show up late, some other circumstance. So at this point, we're just going to check these two clients in and we're going to save. If we go back to that class, maybe it's later in the classroom and somebody did show up. And we go to that check-in screen again. Again, you'll have to change your week that you're working on, and we're going to select that date. Notice nobody is clicked as checked in until you hit that search button. It tells you up here that two are, but you can't see which two they are. Click the search button. There it is. They populated. Cranky and Vicky have already been checked in. If another client has shown up and you want to check them in, you can click that checkbox next to them. We're going to go ahead and check Danny in now. Again, making the case note. Maybe this client has sent you a note saying, hey, I can't make this class series. That's when you would use this end reservation button. We are not going to go through that right now. We're just going to assume everybody attended except Betty Rebel, and we're going to click save. So now that class is over, and we want to, because we now know that Betty did not show up for class on that specific day. So we want to go in and mark her as absence. If you click the absence button, again, you change the date to the week. And on September the 5th, you can see this only populates people that have not been checked in. So we want to go ahead and record her as absent. The class is over. She didn't show up. You have the option of an excused or an unexcused absence. Click whichever one is appropriate. And then we have some pre-populated absence reasons. We can add to this list as you see other things that you think would make sense to be here. For right now, we're just going to say that Betty forgot and overslept. I could add a note here if I wanted to. She didn't call in, whatever. Again, these are just little tickler reminders that you can go in and look at and say, oh yeah, she didn't show up, but she was excused. I excused her for that day because she forgot and overslept and maybe she called. Whatever. There's a billion different reasons. Go ahead and click save. And that takes care of those 4 clients for that one class. Now let's go back, because we know this goes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, you change your date here to the starting week of the classes. So we've already selected the 5th, which is the Tuesday, and now it's the 7th. And we want to do the same thing. You can see that no clients have been checked in for the 7th. And we want to record those same people that are attending on the 7th. So Cranky showed, Vicky showed, Betty showed this time, and Danny showed. So all 4 of your registrants showed up and are attended. Click the save button. And we've recorded attendance for that date. Again, you will do this for every class period. So we've gone through the first week of September, and now we want to move to the second week, and we can show which classes are available on those days. So just one more time, I'm going to go through this, select the date. It shows you that nobody has been checked in yet, and go ahead and click the names of people that attended for that day's class. Click Save. And that's your attendance. You continue to do that through the entire month or through the entire series of classes. For each day that a class is held, you will record attendance or absences. Once we record them as being checked in, that will automatically post a service to that client. And let's check. On Vicki Letterman's file, you go to your forms dashboard and services, you can see that she attended the childhood adversity classes on Tuesdays. I'm sorry, that should be Tuesdays and Thursdays. I forgot to rename that. It marks them as being attended on the 5th, the 7th, and the 12th. That is an automatic process that happens. There's nothing you need to do except check them in or mark their attendance. If they did not attend, let's look at Betty Rebel. Forms, services. Sorry, it wasn't Betty. Sorry, that took me a second there. It was Betty Rebel. I was reading the screen wrong. So we know that class started on the 5th. She did not attend on the 5th. So she only got the service attendance on the 7th and the 12th, the two classes that we did mark her present for. So that shows us that we provided a service for this client. She attended, and the classes that she did not attend will not populate. I believe that kind of clears that up. Again, this is all done through the class management tab, employment services, and we want to see all classes that are offered through employment services. That list will populate, and then you can filter it as you see fit. You do have these other options, class reservation. I will probably remove these as options because I think it's just confusing. They are giving you multiple ways to do this. It just doesn't make any sense. I think that clears that. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me individually. I can help walk you through your first episode of your class, help you get those reservations made, and then go through the attendance and check-in process. I hope that was clear enough. If not, please let me know. Thank you.